I'm gonna start crying on my own video and not edit it out. What's hip hop happening, y'all? I'm Deja, and I got 3 thrift flips for you today. The last one, which ended me in the passenger seat of the struggle bus with a one-way ticket to Hell Noville. What? So let's get into it. Let's start with this button down I got at the thrift. It looks washed out in this footage, but the colors are actually really pretty. I didn't really like the oversized fit, looking like Tommy Bahama type stuff, and I wanted to increase the sauciness. I projected the pattern to make sure I had enough fabric to make the top, and it looked like I was golden, so I cut off the collar and separated the pieces. I also went ahead and seam ripped these ugly ass pockets. But when cutting out the first damn piece, which was the back, I already screwed up because, hey, pattern projecting is amazing, but sometimes the lines can be a little confusing, and I accidentally made it too narrow because the fold line wasn't lined up correctly. So I used the collar and part of the piece I'd already cut out to repent for my mistakes. It was kind of weird because the shoulder parts now had a little extra curve to them, but what the hell else was I gonna do? From here on out, I decided, I'm gonna do this right, dog. I carefully cut the back out again, and this was the result. Wow! Then I cut the front and the sleeves, making the darts and notches as I went. And the sleeves were a little narrow on the bottom for this pattern, but I kind of like how they were finished originally, so I figured I'd just leave that like it is. Now for this top, there's a YouTube video which I'll link here. It's pretty straightforward. But I sewed and ironed the darts down, attached the front and back at the shoulder and side seams after serging everything. Then I had to gather the dang puff sleeves, which doing gathers by hand is my enemy, but I wanted to make sure they would fit right. And of course, because I'm doing things to the book nowadays, I finished my serge ends by hand sewing them in with an embroidery needle. That doesn't look bad, that does not look bad. I actually really like the sleeves like this. It makes it more boxy, and I don't have no problem with that. I've been due for a sewing win. Now I'm going to do the hard part, which I don't think this is actually supposed to be hard, but the way the person described it is very confusing to me. There are 2 channels on each side, one here and one here. And it says, ties channel cut 2, between 1 meter and 1.2 meters depending on your size. And I cut 2 of those. But then it says width 4.5 centimeters, but I don't see that on here. Like, what do they mean? Let me figure this out. Okay, to me it looks like she used bias tape for channels, so I'm just gonna go with that, and then I'll make my own bias tape for the actual strap. I pinned on here like she did. I'm gonna use my handy dandy curve ruler and make these channels. Hopefully this white bias tape isn't too bright to see underneath, but it doesn't look too bad. Here's me watching the video about 11 days, umpteen hours, burning to figure out how the hell these channels are done. I've been very careful this time to not make mistakes, because I made the big mistake in the beginning. But I've been ironing every time I needed to, and I'm really proud of myself for that, because that's not something I normally do. Homegirl used a pencil. You can't see that shit. I can barely see it myself. So I marked the second side mirrored to the first side, and searched for the correct tool to continue the dots into a line. Thank the Lord my rotary cutter has a lock on it, because knowing me, I might have cut the dang things instead. Okay, so I marked one channel all the way coming from this end up and then down that way and to the other end. And the other one, I'm pretty much going to wing it. I ironed it flat, and then I went ahead and stitched the inside closed because I don't want to deal with the possibility of that flapping open and making it bulky. I will actually pin this time, even though I hate dealing with pins. So I got one channel in. I'm supposed to put 2 channels, and there's not a lot of room on the bottom. Don't want to put it on the top because the top one is supposed to curve up. See how it goes? I'm just going to put it as close as humanly possible. The channels are complete. They might be a little uneven, Steven, but that's alright if we're still breathing. One more step, and that's the bias binding. The pattern called for me making my own bias binding out of the same fabric, but I wasn't feeling it. I haven't eaten today. Maybe I could just use white instead? I guess somebody else was hungry too. I think I'm just gonna go with white actually, because I'm lazy, and bias binding takes hours. I don't have time for that. This is a 1/4 inch bias binding, and I cut 2 of them into 47 inches. I'll be done in like 5 minutes. Yay! I'm about to try it on. What excites me that I didn't expect is that these channels are actually providing a little bit of structure to the garment. I really like that technique with the channels. Oh, I like it. I rather do like it. Does anyone have an opinion on the sleeves? Because I kind of like them like this. The girl added elastic right here and it looks really cute too. So that's another option for the future. Right now, I'm happy with it. And I'm ready to hit the town. Yeah. Stay tuned for the actually complete version because I did make some changes that really elevated the look. Yeah, I actually decided I'm going to take these ties out and use some of this previous fabric to make some new ones because I want to be more of a zero waste queen. Also, I'm going to save these buttons. These are glorious, huh? Time for number 2. I'm going to make the B tank top, which is free on Sewciety, and I'm going to link that in the description. Now peep this dress donated by your mama that I've had for years thinking it would inspire me someday, and today is the day. I think when wearing it, I feel like a mama, which is why I was extra careful getting up and down this step ladder. This one is so easy, y'all. Highly recommend. I very carefully cut out the pieces this time because we don't need no more mishaps. And I had plenty of fabric to work with, so I didn't have to worry about that this time. The last top though was a very different situation, but we'll get there. Anyway, for this one, I went with a size medium, and it's just 3 pieces. Yay! So this is just 3 pattern pieces, meaning this is gonna be easy McCheesy. But just like the first thing I made, I'm gonna add a little pizzazz to it, which I'll show to you in the end. So I serged the back 2 pieces together, which begs the question, why not just have it be 1 piece? I don't know, I didn't make the pattern. Shit. And next was stitching the shoulder and side seams as well. Then I tried it on. Am I gonna hate this? I already see that I have too much fabric right here, so I'm gonna just take little triangles off from here. But this is too long, and I think I'm gonna cut it maybe a little below here. It's not really what I pictured. Probably because I picked a fabric that's a little bit less stretchier. So I cropped it to here. I think that looks very much better. And I got rid of the gaping right here by pulling it in on the sides. Now what am I gonna do next? The world may not know until you watch the rest of the video. And if you're enjoying this so far, I would encourage you to like the video. Maybe leave me a subscribe. A comment would be awesome because I love the feedback and I love when people watch my shit. And here we are with the bottom and sleeves hemmed and the neck tacked down. But stay tuned till the end because I will be adding a little something something. All right, who's ready for top number 3? Me. I thrifted this and saw potential. I don't know how, I don't know why. It's a vision gifted to me by the creator, I suppose. And I guess it helped that it reminded me of Blanche from the Golden Girls. I love her. I woke up in such a good mood today. Probably because I found this pattern on Etsy. I stressed myself out trying to find something to make out of this. So I'm gonna get started cutting that out and I'll let you know if I hit any hiccups. This one seems pretty easy though, but I've never done facing on armholes and I don't remember the last time I made a buttonhole, so this should be interesting. It looks like we're a little short, but we're just gonna make it work. I might cut the bottom off, and since we have this extra fabric from the sleeves, I'm probably just gonna use that to add to the bottom. I didn't really think this through because there's 2 front pieces and 2 sleeves. Where on earth was I supposed to get enough fabric for the back? The back has the same problem. So I'm gonna have to do some problem solving. I got an idea. I'm gonna cut out the front pieces first and then I'll have extra fabric and then I'm gonna use that to compensate for what's missing on the back. Yeah. I'm gonna do myself a favor and mark out on my seam allowance now because we are running a tight ship. And I'm not even sure if this is my right size. I picked a large. We'll see because the medium was slightly too small. I went ahead and cut out the 2 front pieces and was left with these extra scraps from that, which I cut and situated into a rectangle. Then I serged that new piece and the parts I'd previously cut off the bottoms to the bottom of the back. Now, should I have originally cut off the bottoms? I do not know. But the thrifted shirt had a curved bottom and that just would not do. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. What's particularly annoying is that you can't really tell which side is the good side and the bad side, so I might have screwed it up. But on second thought, looking back, it looks like they did the same damn thing.
Or am I tripping?
That adds visual interest. I'm going to cut out the back piece and then the placket and the facings. Then I'll have all my pieces. What I'm doing right now would shock and surprise anybody. I'm taking these tiny ass scraps and making curves for the armhole interfacing. Look, see this right here? See these right here? I'm stitching everything together and it's all a puzzle piece. Kind of wild mess. But I'm gonna be proud of myself in the end. Now peep this. If you ain't doing it like this, then you're sane. I'm losing my fucking mind. This is taking so long. I'm getting lightheaded. This projector is hot and nothing makes sense anymore. I'm still in the first armhole facing. I could have just found another fabric probably that would match. I don't know, man. I'm gonna start crying on my own video and not edit it out. This is rough. It's like, how much do you want this, girl? How much will you fight for what you believe in? Which is the stupidest ever. I just don't like fabric waste. If I'm gonna spend the time doing it, then let me. Because nobody else has time for this shit. I think some of my friends are confused by me because I am so adamant about not wasting shit that could end up in a landfill. Because I started doing eco bricks and sticking cellophane inside of other containers, and they're like, but why? And here I am using tiny scraps to try and get this damn thing done, and I don't even know if it's gonna fit or work. Okay, I cut all the facings out, and this is all the fabric I have left, besides tiny little bitty scraps that came off when I was serging everything. And I'm gonna take a break. I haven't even done the interfacing yet. I don't even know if I have it in me, but maybe if I eat something. I need water. Maybe if I eat something, I'll feel better and get a second wind. Who knows? But, yeah, at least I got that done. I made a few mistakes along the way, and God knows I probably will make some more mistakes. So at least I have these two little pieces left. What? All right, I'm back. I'm doing the bust darts, and then after that, I think I'm supposed to do the little facing strips, which I may end up doing tomorrow, because I need a damn drink. Hell, the old baddies who sew are right. It makes everything so much easier if you just damn take a second and iron. I'm telling you, this is looking really good. These darts are made for titties. Y'all, seriously, something keeping me motivated today has been this rap I made up, and it goes, imagine Cardi B's voice. Like Tim Gunn said, make it work, make it work. I'ma earn it real slow, and when I'm done, I might twerk. It's really helpful. Girl, I'm gonna be looking like an Easter bunny or an Easter flower. I don't know why I said summer top. This is a very spring fit, but I could save it for Easter.
The next day.
Okay, I ironed all the interfacings on, and now I'm attaching the placket. It seems easy so far, but they did tell me to line up some notches that do not seem to exist on the pattern, so that kind of sucks. It's not always super obvious to me when you're supposed to serge stuff, and it just became apparent after I started applying the facings that you should probably do that before, but they never said that in the instructions, and I notice a lot of times people don't even include that in the instructions. So if you have any tips on that, let me know. Okay, I got the placket and the buttonhole facing together, and I don't know how, but the dang buttons don't actually match up. I don't think this button is supposed to be so high, so I feel like the buttons part is incorrect. And I can make up for it if I just put the buttonholes where it says they go and then add the buttons afterward. Something in me is telling me that this is gonna be ugly. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm honestly pretty irritated with myself because I did a lot of these things out of order. I don't like it that they didn't just tell me at the beginning to finish everything, serge it all beforehand, and I don't like that when I did the shoulder seams, I didn't do the side seams at the same time because they appeared in a weird order in the instructions. Ugh, okay. The buttonholes don't match up and the seams are all jacked up looking. Look, like if you match all the buttonholes up, look at this seam right here. See how it doesn't match up? I could make that seam match up, and then this will go all the way too far above the other. I don't know, would this look good?
No.
I think this one might just be a fail. Oh no! Which is unfortunate. I might have to just scrap this one. Better luck next time. Nope, I gotta see it through, gotta see it through. 2 out of 3 wins is good enough. Okay, got my buttonholes on there. Imagine Cardi's voice. Like Tim said, make it work. Make it work.
My little rap helped me through once again. So let's see some final fits, starting with the one I dislike the most, the dang vest. It's not the absolute worst, but I don't like it. It's not the most flattering silhouette on me, and I kind of look like a nurse on vacay. Oh well, all that extra work for a mid-looking crooked hem peplum-looking vest. I could wear the buttons undone on the bottom like in the pic to distract from the crookedness, but I probably will just end up wearing it and ignoring that I jacked it up so bad. Alright, now for top number 2. Remember it looked like this? Well, now it looks like this. I don't know if that's anticlimactic for you, but I think a little pop of color was necessary. I tried Dynaflow, which is a tie-dye dye, and used regular Sharpies side by side. And I also did a few mock-ups to decide what I wanted, and I kind of like the subtlety of only coloring the accent parts. I might do the fish later, but I kind of like it like this. Let me know what y'all think.
Wow.
And as for my favorite,
Ta-da!
I used the rest of the fabric from that one to make the ties, and I also added some lace on the neckline. I think that doing that really made it look more professional and classy, and a little sexy if I do say so myself.
And when I'm done, I might twerk.
So, those are my thrift flips. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a like or subscribe if you did. Next video, I'm thinking of doing more summer clothes, or maybe making watercolor paper. Hope to see y'all soon, and of course, thanks for watching.